Hey everybody, thought I'd do a quick video tonight to show how I back a trailer into various parking spaces and whatnot. A lot of people ask me from time to time, how do you do it? They give me certain situations, certain scenarios, anything from a bad angle, 90-degree angle, backing in, and you can do all the videos you want on this subject and not cover all the examples. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just give a few pointers that I use even to today in the years that I've had experience driving that still work for me today. It's simple. It gets you looking in the right direction instead of some people I notice concentrate on certain parts of the trailer when they're backing up, and there's an easier part of the trailer to concentrate on that's always true. A trailer can always fool you from a 53 foot, 45 foot, 48 foot. Also, the tandems on the trailer, if they're slid forward or back, is going to affect how the back of the trailer moves, how quickly it moves. So there's one point on the trailer that always stays the same, and I'm going to discuss that over here in just a second. First thing I want to discuss is the ability to, in your mind, shut off the fact that you have to think about, let's say if you get straight to back directly back into a dock or a parking area at a truck stop. When you start backing up, if the trailer starts drifting in either direction and you're going completely straight, what I do, I sit straight up in the truck where I can see both mirrors. Just use the mirrors only, and instead of putting my hand at the top of the wheel and trying to remember steering the opposite direction like they say, put it at the bottom of the wheel and just steer it. If you want the trailer to go to the right, just make a little correction to the right. If you want to go to the left, make a little correction to the left. And this will always work. If you have it at the top of the wheel, or like this, 10 and 2, you have to start thinking, which way do I need to turn? And if your trailer starts drifting off to the left, in that split second you have to think about what you need to do. And then if you react and then you still react wrong, then you've really gotten out of shape, and it can become frustrating, especially if somebody's waiting for you to back in. Many times I'll back in, there'll be 2 or 3 trucks behind me wanting to back in, and you feel the pressure to quickly back in. And the best thing to do in that situation is to ignore the people behind you. You have to do what you have to do. Do it slowly. Don't go under. I've seen guys back up with the throttle. I never use the throttle. I just use the idle only. Use the brake and let it idle back just as fast as I want to go. At the maximum would be the fastest. So this is what I do. This is where I look when I'm backing the truck up, and this is exactly what I do. Okay, I'm going to try to do it with this handheld camera here. I don't know how it's going to look, but let's assume I want to back into this dock space here. The truck already in this space. Let's say that's just a cone or something, reserving this space. I want to back in here. What I want to do, first tip I would say, is come in using as much area as possible. Don't cut yourself short. Don't pull up here and make you turn. Come on down to the truck as close as you can get safely. As you get right in this area, what you need to do, you need to look and make sure that this truck is in the proper lane, because you're not going to be able to see this area once you start backing in. Make sure there's nothing in the whole area that's going to stop you from backing in. Then as you approach, as soon as your landing gear gets in this area, this is when I make my turn back out to start setting up. Now I'm going to not go up to the wall. I'm going to assume there's a fence right there. Well, I would have to turn at this angle to back into this dock space. A lot of people I've noticed, they look at the trailer, they try to put this part of the trailer, they're looking here to here. As soon as it starts looking out of line any to them at all, they'll pull up and continue
fighting way up here. They hadn't even begun to get into the dock space yet, but it just doesn't look right to them out here, you know, just from lack of experience, I guess. They start fighting the wheel. They start doing the S curves and all this snake backing, what I call it. But what I do, where I look right here at these tandems on the back of the trailer, right here. I want these tandems squared up with this line, just like they are on this truck. They're squared up. Keep backing up, but they're squared up, straight line. You know your truck's going in straight. So as I back in, I see my wheels starting to come together. And you need to keep over here close enough so you know you're not going to hit this truck, because at the angle of your cab you're not going to be able to see out of the mirror where your truck is. This is where you have to know where your truck is at all times. And right now I know my trailer is straight, but my truck is still crooked. I'm not going to be able to back in one attempt or so, I think. So what I do, I watch the tandems, watch the line as it goes deeper into the dock space. I notice that the tandems are getting out of line. They're not parallel to the dock line, and my trailer is beginning to drift into his space. If I continue this route, I'm going to hit his cab before I ever get clear where I can see his truck. Now, I've seen guys get frustrated, and instead of just taking off and pulling out as far ahead as they can, I pull up just enough to get these wheels straight again. Then I cut my wheels back again like I had them and continue backing up. And maybe not, but see, it's drifting off again. So I stop here because I'm getting off in this direction here, crowding. I mean, you're lucky if you have this much room in a dock. This is kind of a wide dock space I drew. What I do, I pull up again, get my wheels straight again, and continue working. No matter how many times you have to do this, do it small little forward gradual pull-ups and back. I don't usually use my throttle. I just use the idle and the brake, working it back and forth, slow. I don't care how many trucks are waiting for me. I have to get the truck in safely and correctly where I can be able to unload. All right, as I'm backing up this time, I see that the tandems are a little close to the line, so I know I'm way over on this side. So now I can actually see. So I pull up just enough to slide it over in the position I want. Then I would just back it up. And this is where I would use the technique of sit back where I can see both mirrors at the same time, put my hand on the bottom of the wheel, not at the top of the wheel, and turn the bottom of the wheel in the direction I want the trailer to move. So if it starts drifting a little here, just a little nudge, tiny nudge up in the cab is going to correct it before it gets out of shape, and you're not going to have to risk the oversteer. And back straight into the dock. That's how I do it. Watch the tandems, line your tandems up on the line.
So I hope that was hopeful. I hope that was it's hard to say. I hope that was helpful. That's the way I do it. It's the only way I know to do it. Like I said before, it's like shooting pool. You got to work your angles. You always got to set up your shot. When you pull into a dock, set it up the best you can. It's going to make it easiest for you. Everybody's got to wait their turn, and remember, when it's your turn, somebody else is backing in. Give him all the room he needs. Don't rush him, because it's going to be your turn one day. And don't feel bad. I've been backing trucks in for 23 years, and I still get stuck sometime and have to fight a lot to get it in. Some days you can, some days you can't. But with practice and using certain little tips should make it easy for you. And I'm going to go on that note. Tag Bishop, and I'm out.